We're skipping the casual games for our double review with double the dose of demanding deck builders. First, the finger magic of Pluto, and then engineering fun with Rogue Voltage. In Pluto, we are in Magic Wizard Space Jail for crimes unknown. But when a birthday party invitation from our niece shows up, we decide to break out using the power of magic and our 8 fingers, because apparently thumbs are not part of spellcasting. Pluto is a finger building deck builder, where you must cast spells using your fingers in order to fight enemies and get out of jail. How this works is that spells will correspond to different symbols. You'll place said symbols across your fingers in order to activate magic. Now, symbols can be used for multiple spells. So if you have a spell that's lightning, lightning, fire, and lightning, fire, earth, you can set them up kind of along those lines so that 3 fingers or 2 symbols can be used for multiple spells. And you're going to need this to cast as many spells as you can. The enemies will do whatever they can to attack you and mess with your fingers by putting nasty debuffs on them. And you'll be able to further modify your strategies by wearing certain rings. And these rings can give you various impacts based on what spells you're using and what fingers you have. There are some spells that will gain you a bonus if you don't use your ring fingers, or if you only use 2 fingers or 1 hand, you'll gain additional benefits. There are multiple characters, each with their own play style, but you're still going to be using your fingers to do the talking. In terms of difficulty, Pluto can be on the challenging side. While you do have access to defensive spells, any fingers that aren't casting a spell by default will block damage, and these enemies can get quite nasty. Positioning is a very big role here, as you want to deal with some of the more nastier enemies first, but their friends can move things around or apply a block or taunt in order to force you to attack them. And you'll need spells that will deliver AoE, those that can push enemies around, knocking them out of their own attack, if you want to survive. Still, it's a very interesting take on the deck building formula, and it is certainly going to be more challenging to kind of get into due to the whole spellcasting system. But if you are someone looking for a little bit more challenging and would rather play with your fingers than play some cards, then I would definitely give this one a try. And if you thought the last game was a bit challenging, now we got one of the most challenging deck builders I think I've seen with Rogue Voltage. It is the far apocalyptic and gravity twisting and turning future, and we play as outcasts trying to survive. And to do so, we are going to have to, well, I guess get our engineering degrees in order to fight a variety of enemies. And there is a lot going on with this game. So how this works is a very similar style to that of Backpack Hero, where your backpack is essentially your deck. Whatever you have set up into that is your abilities and options you will to make use of in combat. Where Rogue Voltage takes things in a far more advanced direction is that you're going to be wiring and manipulating all the different modules in order to best make use of them during a run. So you have, at the basic level, a generator module. This provides energy. When you connect this to a device that needs energy, it will apply it, and then that device will do something based on the amount of energy it gets. So if you have a gun, and you wire to 1 energy, it will do 1 point of damage. If you wire to a generator that puts out 2 points, then you do 2 points of damage. Where things escalate are the number of modules that will modify or do effects when power passes through them, and conditional modules that will do something when a condition is met. And this can be anything from healing you, providing more energy, debuffing the enemy, buffing you, and much more. So the game essentially becomes an engineering engine builder, as you must figure out the best ways of creating a winning run given the characters you have and the modules you get access to. And this is one of those games where The footage I'm showing you right now, there's a good chance you have no idea what is happening. So let me see if I can explain to what is going on. This was part of a winning run that we did. So the boy in kind of the purple sweater, he has a module that whenever it's charged, he can slow the enemy down. Whenever I apply slow, an additional module will add weakness, which increases the amount of damage that character takes. Now, when that happens, I also have a module that when it gets activated, will pump out a healing potion. When that healing potion gets used, it will be destroyed, which triggers yet another module that starts charging energy. That energy can be applied and give to something to give it like 3+ attack. Now on the other character, she has a generator that every time she uses it, it gains crust. When crust gets cleared, a module on it gains power that can be transferred to something else. On top of that, every other turn on the boy, we have a module that gains or gives out energy, which lets me construct more healing potions. I can put those healing potions on to get free heals, which every time they heal gains me more power. And what basically happens is I slow the enemy down so far that I can then just nuke them with basic attacks. And if the enemy can't attack, I don't really need to worry about anything else. And the healing potions can be used regardless of health, so I can always pop them on for a quick energy boost on top of everything else. And Rogue Voltage not only has the advanced element of your own characters, but also the enemies and the timeline management as well. The timeline will move forward after each character does an action, and certain events will happen on different parts of the timeline that if the character is on there, they will be affected by it. You're also great on how fast you complete a battle, with the best rewards going to the speediest players. And the enemies in this game are nasty. This is a game where every single enemy that you run into, if it's your first time, immediately click on them to see what they can do. Because Rogue Voltage is a very spiky game. This is one of those titles where, when it goes right, you're going to be killing enemies left and right within like a turn or two. When it goes wrong, it goes disastrously wrong for you. And there is meta progression in terms of unlocking new characters, new modules that can show up, and moving the overall plot and story forward. This one, much like with Pluto, is not meant for a casual fan. This is not the deck builder I would recommend to anyone who's looking for a first-time entry to play. But the sheer variety and decision-making that goes into this one is a really nice change of pace from a lot of the other deck builders we've played. It does make you feel kind of clever when you figure out that perfect combination that energy goes to this, what powers this, which turns this on, which activates this conditional, which will turn this, and then all of a sudden you just do 10 to 11 points of damage and completely nuke the boss. But getting to that point will take understanding the game, and of course a little luck as to what modules you get. And you definitely want to do the tutorial for it. Rogue Voltage is one of those games where the negatives I would say about this one are very much the reasons why you're going to play it. This is a very challenging, very complicated take on deck building. And while it's not going to be for everyone, I can guarantee that you haven't played another deck builder quite like it. And I am certainly looking forward to doing some more wire mix matching and module management in the future. With that, both Pluto and Rogue Voltage were played with press keys. Until your games for a future stream and showcase, be sure to get in touch. They all involve fingers, magic, or engineering degrees. If you did play these ones, let me know what you thought of them down below. And with that, have a great night, and see everyone for some more game reviews and game design talks coming soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.